At this point, I'd like to ask each of you what sort of parting words you would have to our audience and to Americans in general to for dealing with the problems of race and social inequality in America. Representative Bass?
Yeah, well, first of all, I am extremely hopeful. I am. I mean, we're in one of these moments, and if you live long enough, you'll experience these moments. And I think when we are in these moments, you grab them. You grab them and you make the most out of them. You take the energy and you channel it. And I think that's where we are right now. And the most important thing I would say is that we really have to educate ourselves. So I've been telling everybody an easy documentary to watch, 13. I mean, it's not easy. The subject matter is tough. It's about the 13th Amendment. To understand policing, to understand the criminal justice system, and to understand how it is fundamentally tied to the period of enslavement, and how, as Brian Stevenson so eloquently says, that slavery didn't end, it just evolved. And I just think it's very, very important to educate yourself, to share that education with other people, and to take responsibility for your own environment. Soledad is great in describing a lot of different ways to do that, whether it's the corporate C Street or going down to your local police department, learning about what's happening in your local community. And I know what you'll find there, so do something about it. Raise it in a city council meeting. Ask why the black folks, the 10 black folks that live there, 5 of them get arrested or are stopped every day.
Soledad?
So I'm going to answer your question with a story. My parents were in interracial marriage in 1958 when in Maryland, they were both at Johns Hopkins, interracial marriage was illegal. They went to DC, got hitched, drove back to Baltimore and lived illegally. My mom, I used to ask her all the time, so what was it like when my 2 older sisters were born in Baltimore in 1960 and 1961? And my mom described it in a way that was so shocking to me. She said, people used to spit on us as we walked down the street as a family. I was horrified. And I said, Mom, what did you do? And she used to say this thing that I thought was very useful, certainly for me as a journalist, and how I think people need to think about this issue. She said, Lovey, because she used to call me Lovey, she passed away last year. She said, Lovey, we knew America was better than that. And I always thought, like, the way it was framed is this idea of, so you have to opt in to those things and help make it better. There's no opting out and sitting around and watching it. And I think for every single person who's frustrated or scared or unhappy or mad or whatever, anxious, I think you have to think, well, okay, so, America's better than that. What do I need to do to opt in to be part of getting it to go the direction that I think it should be going? I think it's as simple as that. And not everybody's list is going to be the same, but everybody does have to opt in some capacity if it's something that they care about.
Steve?
I think one of the most encouraging things about this movement is its diversity and its breadth. It is all around the world. And I would say to everyone, and especially to white people, keep this movement going. Just focus on what happened in Lafayette Square when military, police, and military equipment were deployed to absolutely wipe out a peaceful protest. And one of those sacred places to exercise the First Amendment right peaceably to assemble and to redress your government over grievances, that space, Lafayette Square, was fenced. And when you think of the deployment by the Department of Justice of unmarked troops with no names, no badge names of the officers, that represented the Bureau of Prisons riot strike force being deployed against peaceful protesters. We need to meet that by coming out more often, in greater numbers, and for a longer period of time to keep the flywheel of this movement going.